We have made it to Iceland!
Iceland!
Was that embarrassing? It is cold, windy, wet. Well, right now it's lovely and sunny actually, but yeah, we flew over to Reykjavik yesterday, and here on a family holiday we've rented a camper van, and I thought, you know, such a good idea to bring the bike with me, do a bit of riding and see how we go. It's going to be really windy. I've got a few routes planned in, but yeah, it's going to be windy, cold and wet, so let's see how we get on with it. I haven't done any riding just yet. I'm going to do a route hopefully tomorrow, depending on the weather, we'll see. And then I've got a few routes planned in for the next few days, so hoping to get a few good Ks in while we're here and enjoy some of the scenery. Look at this place, it's absolutely incredible. Right now standing on top of a dead volcano, and yeah, this is the crater over here. Such an insane place. But yeah, tonight gonna have a look at the bike. Hopefully it survived the trip, see if it's all working all fine. Yeah, tomorrow gonna do a few Ks on the bike and hopefully get a nice little ride in, so catch you there. Right, we've made it to a campsite. As we arrived here it was snowing for about 30 minutes or so, so we just sat in the van with the heating on trying to keep warm. But yeah, it's actually stopped snowing now, and it actually doesn't feel too cold. You know, I've only got my fleece on. I don't have my coat on at the moment, which is good. So yeah, it's given us a chance to get some cooking on. We've got some pasta boiling away, and yeah, I'm going to see if I can open up the bike, have a little look at it, and get a few things prepped before we ride tomorrow. Take a quick look at the view of the campsite. Unreal. And there's the van. For the trip we're using the Scicon Aerocomfort 3 bag, which hopefully seems to have done its job. I borrowed it from a mate, so yeah, super thankful that he lent it out to me. So yeah, let's take a look at the inside and, you know, see if everything's doing alright. At least visually anyway, from what I can see for now. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to put my computer mount back on, because I took that off for the flight, and I'm going to tighten up the shifters as well, because I was advised for this bag to loosen the shifters in case they get knocked, so then they'll just turn inwards instead of actually damaging the bars. So I need to align those out, tighten them up, and then yeah, then the rest of it is going to stay in the bag. The rest of it's going to be built up tomorrow morning before I go on the ride. Bit of a race against time as it starts snowing again. Yeah, not easy to do all of this with cold hands. Right, I'm going to pack it back up, and then it should be ready to get the wheels on tomorrow, and yeah, take it out for a spin. So, day one on the bike in Iceland, straight out the gates into a block headwind. It is so windy. My average speed for this ride is going to be like 20 odd kilometers an hour because it is so windy. I'm struggling for breath even on the flats. It's taken a while for the legs to wake up after all the travelling, and I haven't been on the bike for about 3 or 4 days now. So it's a bit of a shock to the system, especially with sleeping in a camper van. We've not had the greatest night's sleep every night. But yeah, this morning, an awesome time on the whale watching boat trip. Saw loads of orcas, humpback whales, and all that good stuff, which was so much fun. So day one, we're riding from Olafsvik to Vegamot, I think it's called. Should be about 60k all in, so not major, but with this wind, I don't know if I could do any more than that. Good little opener for the week ahead. Absolute block headwind all the way, but look at this scenery. What a magical place this is, unbelievable, honestly. So lucky to be able to ride a bike here. You know, looking back a few years ago when I started cycling, I never thought I'd be bringing my bike to ride around Iceland. Well, not all the way around, but some of it anyway. Unreal. Right, I've got a bit of a climb coming up, so I'm going to settle in and enjoy some wind. Average of 10% or something like that, which isn't too bad, but yeah, straight into a mad headwind of stuff. Thankfully I've got my support back just there following, giving me gels and motivational speeches throughout the way, so super grateful for that. The weather is absolutely amazing though. It's a beautiful sunny day and crosswinds are blowing this bike all over the place. Right, carry on. Just look at this scenery there. What a place. So that there in front of us is Kyrkjafell Mountain, which is where Game of Thrones part of it was filmed. Look at this scenery. I have to say the road surface is actually a lot better than I was expecting as well. I'm just running normal 28mm road tyres I thought I'd struggle with the road bike. I thought it has to be a gravel bike out here, but it's not too bad, honestly. Unbelievable. Just unreal, take a look at this road. Sea either side of us, snow-topped mountains everywhere. Incredible, what a place. Descent. Wind's blowing me all over the place. So I finally turned off the coastal road and thankfully turned away from the wind. The wind is now behind me, so pushing me forwards, which is very, very welcome. That last couple of kilometers before I turned off was brutal. I was in the small ring on the flat, probably going about 16 kilometers an hour, but pushing really, really hard. So yeah, the wind out here is crazy. And now things are looking up. Got the wind behind me. I think there's a bit of a climb to do before we come into the last few K and we call it a day there. So yeah, now looks like we're heading into the snowy mountains. Get a look at this view.
So crazy. Iceland is full of these little interesting things to see. Like we're trying to do a drive and you just can't get anywhere because you keep having to stop to look at these cool things. Here we've got a boat that's like beached up on the sea, a black sandy shore, like super cool.
Here in Iceland, we're actually day 5 on our trip, I think, and yeah, we're now down on the south coast, riding around the ring road that goes all the way around the whole island. The last few days have been amazing. We basically made our way down to the south coast, stopping at different sites along the way, waterfalls, geysers, all that sort of stuff. Some amazing things to see. And yeah, the weather today is absolutely glorious. Sun's out. Little bit of wind, but not too much. So yeah, I thought I'd head out for a little spin. Plan for today is to hit about 70k or so. I think I was aiming to do some longer rides while I'm out here, but the conditions with the wind is just so brutal. The ride I did on the first ride was ended up being about 60k. I was planning to do 90k. There's no way I could have done that last 30. It was like headwind the whole way for 60k. By the time I reached that cafe, I was finished. So feeling much better today. Not too much wind. It is still Iceland after all, so we do have a little bit of wind. But yeah, we're gonna enjoy some beautiful scenery. We are heading to the Scicon campsite, I think it's called, where we're gonna be camping for the night. So yeah, let's have a nice ride. It's actually not too cold today. I haven't got my big raincoat on, which I used the other day as like an extra layer. Just got the long sleeve jersey and then like a wind stopping jacket. So yeah, about to cross a bridge and I think cars in front are waiting for me, so I better crack on. Scenery in this place is so amazing. I'm not sure if I've got a big enough card in the camera to film everything, because I just want to keep filming all the time. Yep, ahead. Taking loads of pictures obviously while we've been here, and like none of the pictures do any of it justice. You really have to come out here and experience this place for yourself if you haven't. Honestly, it's amazing. My support vehicle driving on past. Right, gonna stop here for a little break. Beautiful little spot here by a nice little stream to have a break and grab a gel. Quick little wind update. It has picked up a little bit, but it's yeah, still not too bad. The wind yesterday was unbelievable. Like, it's a good job I wasn't riding yesterday, because I would have had to cancel it for sure, because you couldn't even stay upright on a bike. Like, you could barely even stand up all day. It was like 45 kilometers an hour, just burning through non-stop, relentless. So every time we got out of the camper van, we were like, quick, get back in, because it was so cold. Right, I'm gonna smash this gel and then carry on. Glacier over that way. Beautiful view of a massive glacier. But goodness me, I'm a sitting duck on the middle of this road with no shelter. The wind is just blowing right across. My bike's sitting at about almost 45 degrees angle to the road just to keep it upright. And yeah, I have to talk to the camera like this, so I definitely can't take my hands off the bars. Woo. About another 20k to go or so to get to the campsite, so hopefully I can just grind it out. Every time a car goes past, they give me plenty of room, but they disrupt the wind flow, so it sends the bike like whoop. Oh, full concentration to keep things going upright. Okay, so the wind has eased up a little bit, and I think I've changed direction slightly, which has worked a bit in my favour. I'm now not pushing too hard, and I'm getting close to 30 kph, so it's still windy but not too bad. But yeah, take a look at that view over there. That, I believe, is the Vatnajökull glacier, I think, if I'm correct. I don't have internet at the moment, so I can't check, but should be one of the biggest glaciers in Europe, I believe. Absolutely incredible. Amazing. Running out of battery shortly on the camera, so I'm gonna crack on. Got about 5k left to get to the campsite. Just can't get my head around this. Riding towards this massive glacier just feels so surreal. Just look at that view. Almost at the end of the second ride now. Had a bit of a tailwind to finish off, which was very, very welcome. So yeah, last few K have been plain sailing. Right, hopefully they got a decent shower at this campsite. Let's see. So, evening time at camp. We've got some scran on the go. Check that it's cooking okay. Tonight we're having pasta with tuna and tomato sauce. But so I'll just take a little look at some of the stats of the ride. So first ride was 64k, second ride was 70k, so not quite as much as I planned, but yeah, like I said on the ride, I think I just have to cut them a little bit shorter just because of the logistics of travelling around with a camper van. Like, we don't want to keep the family waiting obviously all day long, and then also the wind as well. Like, the wind is so strong out here that, you know, like a 100k ride is probably the same effort as doing 60k, so at least for me. So yeah, I mean, you can see from the first ride I did, just open up the stats, I averaged 195 watts for almost 3 hours at an average speed of 22 kilometers per hour. So for me, usually that kind of wattage should be, and it was not too much elevation, I mean 750 meters of elevation, that kind of wattage should be looking at almost 30 kilometers an hour. So it goes to show how strong the wind was. Today's ride was 2 hours 30, average speed of 29, and same wattage, 192 watts. So you can see there straight away, like, the wind was a lot less today, and I averaged 29 kilometers an hour versus 22. So really windy on that first one. So yeah, gonna enjoy chilling at the campsite, and hopefully we can get one more ride in while we're here.
Daddy, I want to do it well.
Right, so just going to do a very brief chat through of the bike and my setup, because it's really cold, so I can't hang around here for too long. So yeah, this is more or less my usual setup that I'm running back home. So the Van Rysel RCR, this is the non-pro sort of regular carbon frame, and then and this is the one with the Tram Rival group set. And then it's got the Zip 303S carbon wheels. So yeah, I've obviously done a full video on the bike on my channel, so feel free to check that out for more details. But yeah, more or less just running my normal setup, tubeless 28mm Conti GP5000s. So yeah, got one more ride to do, hopefully get out and do that tomorrow. And yeah, coming towards the end of our trip here in Iceland. We've had such a great time so far. But yeah, one more journey out on the bike, so I'll see you there. So third day on the bike, we're cycling from Hellisholla to Selfoss, And we start the ride next to the volcano. That over there is the volcano that caused all the disruption across Europe, grounding planes because of the cloud of ash that covered the whole of the continent back in 2010, I think it was. So yeah, beautiful start to the ride. Really windy yet again, but today we are traveling in the opposite direction, so the wind is actually hopefully going to be up our backside, so it should be a nice little tailie. Let's see how we get on. My goodness me, it's really cold today. The temperature is lower today than it has been, and this wind is really cold. So I'm just about to get onto the main road where I'm going to turn with the wind very shortly. So yeah, looking forward to doing that. Should be about 60k ride today, so not huge, but yeah, like I said, happy to keep these rides in Iceland a bit shorter just because of the wind and the temperature. It's just too much to be doing for these. It's just too cold and too windy for longer rides, also with the logistics of the van and everything like that. So yeah, but just happy to be out on the bike. Right, let's get on with the ride for today. Goodness me, we are flying straight out of the blocks with the wind behind us. I'm barely pushing any watts and I'm doing 46 kph on the flat. Absolutely flying. Has changed and we're now cutting right across the wind, so basically a 90-degree crosswind on the right side. So here we go again, trying to keep the bike upright. So about 15k to go now for the last ride. The wind is behind us, so hopefully giving us a nice little push all the way to the finish. But yeah, so what are my thoughts about cycling here in Iceland? Well, we've got the obvious challenges of the conditions, the cold and the wind. I think we've actually been super lucky with our weather since we've been here. Like, we had quite a bit of wind, but we basically had no rain. Had some rain on the first day, but not much. Since then it's been more or less wall-to-wall sunshine, so can't complain about that. It has been cold, but not freezing. It's just when the wind picks up, it does get a bit chilly. But aside from the conditions, one thing that I've also found interesting cycling out here is just how isolated you feel on the bike. Like, it's just a single lane kind of road that goes all the way around the country, and you're constantly riding in terrain like this, where absolutely in the sticks on your own with no sign of life apart from cars driving past. It is really cool, don't get me wrong, but it's just something very different if you're not used to it, you know. I do obviously a lot of my riding back home in Spain, and there's always kind of civilization around you more or less everywhere you go, unless you go far out. But even then, if you go out into the countryside, you've always got cyclists around, especially if you're riding on the weekends. Which is normal, but yeah, out here it's like riding in a different world. Very cool, but something to get used to. But yeah, I've thoroughly enjoyed my time cycling out here. The scenery has been amazing. Today's ride's not been too picturesque compared to the others, but then, you know, when you spend time out here, you normalize such incredible views that when you're seeing views like this, you think that, oh, it's a little bit boring, but this would actually be a beautiful view for us back home, you know. So, but yeah, super lucky to be able to come out here and to bring the bike as well. Very grateful for that, and very grateful for my family for letting me have the time on the bike during our holiday here in Iceland. But yeah, had an absolutely great time. I would definitely recommend getting out here with your bike if you can. I know a lot of people try to do the whole ring road as like a bike packing trip. I think that's about 1,800 kilometers in total, so you know, bless you if you're going to go for something like that. Definitely I would consider doing that in the summer, but not now. I think I forgot to mention as well that I'm here in April, so it's mid-spring time here in Iceland, so the conditions can be very varied. You can get a lot of different types of weather, which we have experienced, but yeah, on the whole it's been beautiful sunshine. Right, I'm going to finish off these last few K, get into a cafe and get warm, and yeah, enjoy our last couple of days in Iceland.
So we've reached the end of our trip to Iceland. Really sad to be leaving. Had such an amazing experience here. But one last treat in store before we close out. We're in the Blue Lagoon. We're going to get in and enjoy some nice hot water and have a nice little spa session before we leave. So yeah, had a really great time making the video. Such an incredible experience out here cycling in Iceland and enjoying the sights and the scenery. Hope you've enjoyed the video as well, and yeah, hopefully see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.